My name is Marcus Thompson, and in 15 years leading rescue operations across East Africa, I've learned that hope can exist in the most impossible moments. But there was one day when I was certain we'd arrived too late, when a magnificent giraffe lay motionless on the savannah, and everyone on my team was preparing to accept our first complete failure. Then she turned her head and looked straight at me, and that single moment taught me the most important lesson about never giving up. If you've ever been in a situation where you thought all hope was lost, only to discover there was still a chance, you'll understand this story. Share in the comments about times when you almost gave up, but found a reason to keep fighting. These moments remind us why persistence matters. This happened 10 months ago in the Serengeti. We got an emergency call about a severely injured giraffe. What we feared would be our first recovery mission became the most inspiring rescue of my entire career. This is case file number 198, and I'm sharing it because sometimes the difference between life and death is refusing to accept defeat, even when everything points to the worst. Subscribe if you want more stories about never giving up in wildlife conservation. The call came from Dr. Emily Watson, a world-renowned giraffe expert. Her voice was heavy with sadness. "Marcus, I need you, but I'm afraid we're too late. Amara, a female I've studied for 6 years, is down. She's been motionless for hours." She explained Amara had likely collapsed from severe malnutrition and dehydration. Local rangers had seen no movement or response for over 4 hours. Giraffe emergencies are incredibly challenging. Their sheer size makes any medical intervention complex, and once they're down and can't get up, the outlook is grim. I asked, "Dr. Watson, any signs of breathing?" Her reply was bleak. "Very shallow, barely detectable. Heart rate is extremely weak. Honestly, Marcus, I called you more for protocol than for hope." We assembled our emergency team with heavy hearts, knowing we might be documenting a loss, not attempting a rescue. Sarah, our vet, prepared medical gear alongside recovery protocols. Mike loaded both life support equipment and the heavy gear needed for large animal recovery. We had to be ready for either outcome. "This case may test everything we believe about when to keep fighting," I told the team on the flight. Sarah was reviewing giraffe physiology. "Marcus, once a giraffe is down for that long, organ pressure becomes life-threatening. But if there's any chance, immediate intervention is key." Mike was checking our systems. "Boss, I've got everything for stabilization, but we need to be realistic about treating a 1,500-kilogram animal in the field." When we arrived, the scene was just as Dr. Watson described. A beautiful Maasai giraffe lay on her side, her elegant neck stretched out on the ground. Dr. Watson met us with tears in her eyes. "Amara is one of the gentlest giraffes I've ever known. She's raised 4 calves. Seeing her like this breaks my heart." Our initial assessment confirmed our worst fears. No movement, no response. The team's mood was somber. We believed this was our first official failure. "This is exactly what we feared," Sarah said quietly. "All indicators suggest we're too late." If you've ever faced that moment where you have to accept that some things are beyond your help, you know how devastating it feels. As we approached, I thought about Dr. Watson's 6 years of research, the calves this giraffe had raised, and the loss her death would represent. Sarah was preparing the medical exam that would confirm what we all believed. I was standing about 10 feet from Amara's head, bracing for the difficult conversation ahead. And that's when it happened. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, Amara's massive head began to lift. Her eyes, which we thought were closed in death, opened and turned directly toward me. She looked straight at me with an awareness that sent a chill down my spine. "Sarah," I whispered. "She's alive. She's looking at me." The transformation in our team was immediate, electric. Sarah rushed to begin an emergency assessment while Mike activated life support. I held Amara's gaze, somehow knowing that connection was vital for her will to survive. "Pulse is weak but steady," Sarah reported, her voice filled with excitement. "She's responding to stimuli. Marcus, she's been conserving energy, not dying. This is incredible." Amara's gaze never left mine as Sarah worked. It was as if she was drawing strength from our presence, using our determination to fuel her own fight. "She's severely dehydrated and malnourished," Sarah continued, "but her core systems are functioning. With immediate intervention, we can give her a real chance." The stabilization took 3 hours of intensive care. Whenever Amara seemed to fade, she would turn her head to look at me, and that eye contact appeared to renew her will to fight. "This is unprecedented," Dr. Watson observed. "I've never seen a giraffe in this condition show such a strong response to human presence." The breakthrough came when Amara tried to lift her head higher, the first voluntary movement in over 6 hours. That single action told us recovery was possible. "She wants to stand," Sarah noted. With careful positioning and gentle encouragement, Amara began the slow, monumental process of regaining her feet. When she finally stood, all 18 feet of her magnificent height restored, the moment was overwhelming. Amara immediately turned to look at each of us, almost as if she was thanking us. "Complete medical success," Sarah announced with pure joy. "All vitals are stabilizing." In the weeks that followed, Amara's improvement was remarkable. She returned to her herd, and Dr. Watson's monitoring showed she was back to her normal self. But something had changed. Amara consistently approached research vehicles, showing an unusual trust, as if she remembered the humans who helped save her. "She's become one of our most cooperative subjects," Dr. Watson reported months later. "It's like that rescue created a permanent bond. Case file Babarim 198 taught me that giving up too early is the only real failure. What looks like death might just be an animal conserving energy for one last chance. Now I approach every hopeless situation knowing that an animal's will to live can defy all expectations." That look from Amara wasn't just recognition, it was a request for partnership in her fight to survive. 18 months later, Amara gave birth to her 5th calf, proving our rescue saved not only her life, but also her contribution to future generations. This case taught me that conservation requires optimism, even when facing apparent defeat, because the difference between success and failure can be as simple as refusing to give up. Subscribe for more stories of hope and persistence in wildlife conservation. These stories prove that saving wildlife requires not just science, but the faith to keep fighting when logic says the battle is lost. Thanks for watching.